All right, we're back with the big hive. Had some queen cells in here too last week, so a little bit nervous about what we're gonna see when we get in here. Set that there so you can put boxes on it. They're still nibbling away at that sugar block. Whoops, I just smushed a bee. Darn it. Thank you for not stinging me just the same. All right, this box is probably heavy.
Yep, I can feel it already.
So
make sure it's, give myself all the advantages I can by loosening
it's
it.
completely broke free.
Yep, okay. I'm gonna lift it off, okay?
Are you gonna put it on there?
Yes, sir. That okay?
Yep. You all right?
Yes, but it's almost too much for me. Now, what do you want to do? Expect it from here?
Yeah, I'll carry the frames over. All right, still no beetles. Still no beetles.
I'm gonna bring it over here someplace we can get it up higher.
Now, I'll pull the frames out and
You can put it right here.
You want to put it right there? All right.
It was the getting it up and down. Okay, here we go. This is better.
That can't go on there because it'll melt the plastic. Smokers melt the plastic. I learned that the hard way last week.
Okay.
All right, so here's the top box, which should have nothing but honey in. Empty frame. Empty frame. All right, this one full of honey and pollen. Pretty heavy frame filled with honey and pollen. All right, looks like they're drawing it out.
Starting to.
Yeah. I think they got plenty of honey room in this hive. I'm not sure how hard we've hit the flow, and not having any rain hasn't helped. All right, so this is all just pollen and honey. Oh, this frame is heavy. All right, they got a ton of it. Okay, I'm gonna try to work from this side over here. Outside frame filled with honey and pollen. Very nice. Man, they just do not want to build out these darn frames.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing in mine. I have a super on top and there's nothing happening.
It's filled with nectar. I mean, this is filled. There we go. I mean, filled. So if the box underneath, if the two boxes underneath this are, but darn it, look. They do not want to touch those darn frames. I mean, they're filling in all the way around it, and that's it. Ton of honey. All right, this box I would call probably, with the exception of those two frames, the frames that are drawn out, I'd call them probably 90% filled with honey. But two empty frames that they're not drawn out.
Won't touch.
If I don't put another box on this, I might replace those with two different frames, and just to see if that makes a difference. Okay. In fact, let's wait.
Shall I move this one over here now?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh my God.
That one should be good and heavy.
It is heavy.
I mean, I'd call that probably a 50-pound box. There are handles. They're just a little smaller. All right. This one looks awfully good too. pollen, and nectar. Girls are definitely working. This one's pretty full. Nectar not capped. See, here's a black foundation one.
Yep.
And look.
Yep.
They're drawing it out.
So they like the black.
And look at the
some
one next
reason.
to it. Look at this one.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Strange. I would think they would like wax instead of plastic.
This one looks great. Here's a black one. Guess what they're doing? Drawing it out.
Imagine that.
I don't know. Maybe that wax gets old and expired. They don't like it. I mean, it's the original wax that I got when I got my hives.
Your hives.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just never used the shallows. But okay, so we got one in this one, 2 in that one. I might replace if this box isn't packed down. You don't need to center it yet. We'll center it when we put it back on top.
Okay, let's see if we can free it. Okay. I'm going to put this one over there, okay?
Yep. All right, certainly are a lot of bees. All right, now this is a wax foundation one, but this one could have already been, they could have repaired it, but they did. They're working on that one. That's filled with honey.
Woo!
And look.
Yeah, what is the deal with that?
I don't know. This one's got a bunch of nectar. Nice and heavy. This one there looks like a frame that they're repairing. That was a honey frame that I harvested.
Yeah, a couple of dead bees here. Is that from me? I wonder.
I kind of want to keep the propolis now. Or eat it. I'm going to start keeping it. All right. Wow, this one's nice and heavy. A lot of honey. Cleaning that one up. Haven't started drawing this one. Okay, so I don't think that they need a new box, but I do think I'm going to replace all of these frames with a black foundation one, which I have, which I put on that hive. So all the ones that I have, all right, I'm going to keep it the same then. I'm not going to do anything. I'll bring some black foundation down next week because I didn't bring, the ones that I brought down here, I put on that other hive. Okay. And I brought that honey super. I don't even know if there's a point of putting it on there. All right. All right. Now it's time for...
I'll move it.
Yep.
Okay.
Now it's time for our reality check. Okay. This box I put on here, it was frames from last year I harvested honey from. So it was all drawn out, or at least most of it anyway. Oh, this is a clean frame.
Yep.
Not touching it, which doesn't surprise me. Because I got a ton of room now, and I don't know if they have a queen. All right, they're starting to draw that out a little bit. All right, all I see is honey and nectar in this one. So I shouldn't see the queen, but I'll do a quick scan. Nothing. Honey and nectar, quick scan, or actually just nectar in this one. All right. But some of these already have, wow, this is a heavy frame. This is filled with nectar. Surprised they're not going up with it. Surprised they're not carrying it up.
Well, yeah. Well, they need some resources close by.
Well, they got it.
To feed the brood. Yeah.
I see some bee bread. A little bit of honey, nectar. No queen. If there's a queen in here, I expect she'll be in the bottom box. Alrighty. Yeah, I put this in here to give her room to lay, and there is no place for her to lay up here.
You're using it as...
honey storage. I might need to switch that top box.
That may work, yeah.
With this one. Which means putting the heavy box on top.
This is all drone, right? Comb.
It's all drawn comb, but they're putting honey in it. What's interesting, just this right here, from here over here. This is all worker. And then a little bit more drone here. But they're filling it with honey. Bigger cells for honey, I guess. Got some drone stuff in here too.
I don't see any cap brood so far.
No, which is not great. I think we're going to switch this with the top box, Steve.
Yep, that makes sense.
So where is the top box?
The top box
is right there. Okay, so we just won't put this on top of that.
This one, you mean here?
Yeah, but we'll need to get that honey super off of there before we do. I'll tell you, it's warm out. I mean, the temperature is nice, but it's...
Yeah, wait till you get into my yard.
All right, this should be heavy, Steve.
Yep.
Because it's got a lot of honey in it.
And I'm going to move it right here?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. All right, moment of truth time. All right, let me move the camera down a little bit so you can see. Or hopefully see. All right, so what we're looking for is evidence of a queen. That's all we really need is evidence of a queen.
Yeah.
Come on, queenie. All right, I see honey and pollen. Of course, if I'm early in that one, I might be early in this one for the queen. And if I don't have a queen in this one, I'm going to be in trouble. Is that what is that right there?
Looks like a queen. It is a queen. It's a queen. She got a big, yeah, look at her back. The back that's that round. That's a queen. For sure.
What is she doing?
Yeah,
she doesn't look anything.
Compared to other.
She doesn't look anything like a worker.
No.
But she doesn't look mature.
No, she definitely does not.
All right, well, let's put her back in here. Or let's get a frame out.
Let me pull out a frame here.
Get her back in here before she decides to test her wings. All right. Thank you.
They really seem to like me. Maybe I'm...
This has got a ton of nectar on it. Or a ton of pollen, rather. All right, so... some cat brood that still hasn't hatched.
The drones.
There's a hatched queen cell right there.
Yeah.
The lid is popped off. Right there. But guess what I'm not going to see in this hive?
Yeah, look at them.
Oh yeah, they're all hatched out.
What about this? What's that?
That's hatched. Oh,
there she comes.
No, that's just a worker.
Yeah, worker cleaning it out.
So,
I would say you must have a queen in here.
Must have a queen. She's not ready to lay yet.
Yep. Oh, look at this right here. There's a queen right there.
Oh, that is a queen.
That is a queen.
Now that's a proper queen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's it. You go down there. So there are a couple queens in here. Wow, she was right on top. Good catch.
Just happened to see it, Greg. She was on her mission. I guess I'll leave it closed.
Wow, there are a bunch of, holy cow, look at them all. Look at all the queen cells on there that hatched.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I think I'm just in here early. Unfortunately, I got to give this one another week or two. But unfortunately, oh, there's some on this side too. Goodness gracious, they made a bunch of them.
yeah.
But what I needed, unfortunately, I have no resources for that one to give it. And this one's gonna die. Look at, geez.
Wow. Look at them all. They want to swarm. But you have a lot of bees. No, nobody's swarmed yet. I would say. What's that, Greg? Right there. That a queen? Right underneath my finger? No, it's a drone.
It's like a drone. I almost feel like we should see virgins running all over the place. All right. So that other frame that we were going to switch out, this is all drone.
Yeah.
Why do they have so many drones?
We have a lot of virgins.
And a couple more queen cells right there. Do you think we should switch those boxes, or do you think we should leave it where it is?
I'm gonna let you decide that.
Because right now there's kind of plenty of room to lay. I don't think that there's a problem with that.
You got queens in there though, so that's one thing you know for sure. But there's no laying going on.
Not yet. Nope. Not yet.
So I think if you can switch them, it doesn't probably. Matt, I would say wouldn't make a difference one way or another, but I don't know.
I suppose we may as well.
And I've got the line of a bee. So we want to lift this off and put.
We want to take that box, this box, and put it on.
Put it down.
No, put it here.
Just on top.
Yep.
All right.
Get a little bit of smoke.
Yeah, I've been smoking myself for a long time.
I just want to get these bees out of the way. Okay.
Okay. So
we put that one on there.
I can. Make sure it's not stable. Okay. Here we go.
All right.
Not straight, but got it on here straight? I guess so. Yep.
All right.
There.
All right.
The excluder goes on there.
It's on.
It's on.
It's
okay.
On. All right.
And
honestly, it doesn't matter if that goes next because they're all honey.
You're the boss.
So go ahead. Let's stack them on. We'll just get the frame centered. And I didn't see any hive beetles.
Nope. Not a one.
Nothing. All right. Next.
Next is this one?
Yep, sure. No apitherapy today so far. And to be honest with you,
I felt a couple of pinches, but I don't think I've actually got
All right,
any.
last box, buddy.
Okay.
All right, so we know we got a bunch of hatched queens. That's for sure.
That's too high for me.
All right.
And
Inner cover. Vent.
this one.
Yep. And lid. All right. All right. So that's going to do it. Greg and Steve with Liberty Figs and Apiary. We're headed to Steve's house.